Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVDA Daily Analysis. NVIDIA has volatile stock movement last week. Not a major increase or decrease we observed in the last week NVIDIA stock price movement overall. In this video, we'll discuss weekly price assessment and trend analysis for NVIDIA and try to make some assessment for this week. Now, let's get started. In last 5 days, as you can notice in this chart on your screen, Nvidia did a very little movement, overall 0.58% down. So Nvidia started Monday last week at 116.68 and it closed on Friday at 116, right? So you see that lots of volatility, ups and down in last 5 days. But if you take a look overall 1 month, Nvidia has more drops, about 6.26%. So last 5 days movement compared to last 1 month is not too bad. And last 6 months, Nvidia is still up 23.02%, and year to date is still 140% up. But having said that, Nvidia has more potential to go further up versus going down. Now, let's discuss more in the weekly candlestick chart. On your screen, you see weekly candlestick chart, and the horizon is last 1 year. So, starting last year, October till now, you see that from here to here, no big movement. But starting from here, and that is probably January this year, Nvidia started going up. It's a non-stop positive green weeks, probably 11 consecutive green weeks. And then we saw some reduction for a red candlestick chart. Then after that again, we saw upward movement, another 6 or 7 green weeks in a row. And then we have one drop here. And after this week, you see, and that is somewhere in June, we haven't seen any upward movement on Nvidia. The all-time high you saw in June, that was 140.76. The last 3 months, Nvidia is struggling to go further up. You see that ups and down, ups and down. Lots of volatility. The last week, Nvidia was down, but not much. So a very small candlestick chart you can see red here. And before that, you have green candlestick. That's a big increase 1 week prior. So it's looking at this picture, probably next week will be a deciding factor. What I'm trying to say, from here, there are two possibilities. Nvidia will start going up, or it will go further down and then will go up. Eventually, Nvidia has to go up. But if it goes down further, then go up, or it goes up from here. Both possibilities exist, right? So for those of us still holding Nvidia shares, I do not see any risk. Even if Nvidia goes down from here, then eventually it has to bounce back, right? So we can buy more shares if Nvidia goes down below 110. So that's what I'm planning to do. But on the other hand, if it does not happen and it goes up from here, then we'll be in a good shape, right? So we'll have win-win situation. And as you know, I sold out my SMCI stock on Friday, so I have more cash, so I can spend more money if Nvidia goes down further. And looking at the forward P, the weekly snapshot, you see last week ended at Nvidia 37.66 forward P compared with the prior week that was 38.67. So slight reduction from there. Palantir, another good week last week, so 104 versus 109. SMCI, no big change, almost flat last week versus 1 week prior. AMD slightly up from prior week to the last week. So no big change. So looking at the forward P, um, it looks like more possibility for Nvidia to go further up because the forward P is still below 40. In my opinion, so whenever Nvidia is below 40, it's not very stable. It tries to go further up to achieve forward P of 40. So that's what we saw in the past, right? If you go back, you see that Nvidia was 41, it went down 39, 37, went down 36. It could not sustain there and went up again to 43, 45, went down to 41, going back to 40. Forward P, that's a stable point for Nvidia. So went below 40, that is 33, and then went up to 38. At this point, is 37. So that's what I'm trying to say. So now more possibility to reach 40 in next week or so. And looking at the cumulative percentage change for this quarter, at this point, Nvidia is down about 0.23% from the previous earnings announcement. So overall, Nvidia did not do a good job after the earnings announcement. It's still negative on the cumulative basis. So more room to go further up in next few weeks. And if you remember my price projection for Nvidia that I showed you guys few weeks back, my price range was this. I showed probably these numbers sometime end of August. So my price projection was minimum 105 and the highest 158. As you notice in the last few weeks, Nvidia did go down, but it did not go below 103 or 104. After reaching 103, 104, Nvidia bounced back. So this minimum point makes more sense to me. On the higher side, my maximum was 158. I think looks to me high. Probably I need to further revise this point because so far still Nvidia is struggling to achieve its average price projection that is 120. Maybe my maximum could be 140 in next few weeks, but I have to redo the calculation probably next week, depending on how the next week goes. Now, also looking at the latest news regarding Nvidia, for example, this one that says Nvidia's stock has room to run, but analysts see more upside for six other chip makers. So, based on these folks, it looks to me they are also confident that Nvidia has more room to go further up. Now, this one that says Nvidia stock rises, how the jumbo Fed rate cut could spur further gains. So, yeah, we noted after the Fed rate cut, the next day Nvidia did a very good upward movement, but on Friday, Nvidia was under pressure. Uh, but the effect of rate cut we can see further in this week. So now this one is not regarding Nvidia, but this looks interesting. That says Qualcomm reportedly eyes potential takeover of Intel. 60% stock decline, but antitrust concerns loom. So there is a possibility that Qualcomm can buy Intel because Intel stocks has been under pressure for so many years, and no significant improvement in the products we have seen from Intel. So it looks to me a sinking ship for last probably year or two. So it would be a good thing if Qualcomm buys Intel, in my opinion, and that can set a new direction to Intel products. Now let's take a look what economic data due this week and that can impact Nvidia stock price for this week as well. Now let's take a look. Monday, nothing much coming up. Tuesday, consumer confidence might be important. We can take a look on Tuesday. On Wednesday, nothing big is coming up. Thursday, we have weekly initial jobless claims, and that is important because the job market at this time is a point of concern. So any data regarding job is very important and can shake the market. And now On Friday, we have the PC index, and that is also important. So no major data coming up in next few days. So so this week stock price movement will largely depend on the existing data or the data we saw last week, for example, rate cut, and also the rotation of stocks from one sector to another might happen this week as well. We also observed this behavior last week. But overall, I'm positive this week would be good for Nvidia. The chances of Nvidia is going up more versus going down by the end of this week. I hope you liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you more tomorrow. Take care.